Welcome to the the-fwot-show on the Coil Entertainment Network, pointing out idiocy one story at a time. I'm your host, Rob Steele. That's Jesus Jones in the background. Yes, you should pick up their new album. It's called Passages. It's available on Amazon, and it is excellent. But first, I need to start with a story that actually happened a couple weeks ago, but, wasn't here last week. Life got in the way. Wasn't a Republican conspiracy. Well, last week's show wasn't. This might be. Paul Ryan, in his infinite wisdom, has fired the chaplain of the House of Representatives. Now, why exactly did he do this? There's a lot of theories going around, but the Reverend Patrick J. Conroy, the pastor involved, thinks it's because he gave a prayer. And the prayer included the quote, "May their efforts these days guarantee that there are not winners and losers under the new tax laws, but benefits balanced and shared by all Americans." Fired the next day for saying that because, as we all know, there's a new tax bill. It must benefit Republicans and only the rich ones. If they're white, because that's the way our system works today. Oh, goody. Because, benefiting somebody with, colored skin or a lower paycheck than any of the Republican senators or representatives or whatever. Yeah, can't have that. Almost had it. Had a good story come out of, oddly enough, Tennessee, in a Waffle House of all places, where an unarmed black man named James Shaw disarmed a domestic terrorist. That's pushing it a little bit, I think. I mean, it's a great story. Guy with a gun, domestic terrorist. Anyway, guy was robbing a Waffle House. James Shaw disarmed him. Happy story. Mostly. I mean, the guy had already killed four, I believe they're calling it people of color. 4 people. I'm sorry, I don't care what color their skin is. Murdering 4 people. That's a bad thing. I don't care. It doesn't matter what color their skin is. It's a bad thing. Anyway, this kind of, throws a kink in the whole Republican mantra of the only way to stop a bad man with a gun is a good man with a gun. James Shaw didn't have a gun, so all of you. You can do it without the guns. Not the point of the story. Same day. In Alabama, also in a Waffle House, a black woman named Shakisa Clemens. And if I'm mispronouncing your name, Miss Clemens, I apologize. She was brutally arrested in the Waffle House in Alabama. Now, brutally arrested, I don't mean the cops came in and said, "Ma'am, we'd like you to come with us. Please place your hands behind your back." I mean, they tackled this woman and beat the crap out of her. Brutally arrested. Now, what was the problem? She was complaining about her bill. And I think she may have had a legitimate complaint because the problem she had with the bill was that she was charged for a plastic spoon. Because apparently Miss Clemens did not know that we live in a day and age where we take for granted that utensils come with the meal free of charge. Not at Waffle House in Alabama. You got to pay for your utensils because they really already know you shouldn't be eating that food anyway. You know what? Let's move on to some lighter stuff. Some tech news, because I haven't done tech news lately. And I realize it's already May. However, there's a Windows 10 update called the April 2018 update, which arrives April 30th. For some people, most people, it won't hit until May. Chances are you don't have it yet. You know what? If you do, and you're having issues with, let's say, Chrome, the magnificent browser, it's not you. It's this update. And Microsoft is already working on a fix for the Chrome issues, which causes the browser to crash and freeze and lock up and lose data. And it's just not good. Let's make it a little bit worse. Well, for Microsoft anyway. We haven't really had a browser war in a while. Back about 10, 15 years ago, there were lots of browser wars, mainly between Internet Explorer. Chrome didn't exist yet. Mozilla Firefox was fighting with Internet Explorer. There was Opera involved. Not the music, the browser, which is still around and still really good. Anyway, in the browser war, which is currently being pretty much dominated by Chrome, Firefox is still, I think, better, but that's my opinion. Microsoft Edge, the new big bad browser that comes with Windows 10, is in last place because it was just passed by the old version of Internet Explorer. Oops. That sounds horrible for Microsoft. Yes, your old software is better than your new software, and frankly it is. Edge is frankly crap. I mean, that's not the worst technology news we've had this week. I think probably the harshest news is going to come out of, let's say, Twitter, after Kanye made his statements about how slavery was a voluntary process, which is bullshit. And he lost 10 million followers on Twitter in about 10 minutes. Good job. But let's go back to real tech news, where there's a travesty going on in Southern California. There's a man by the name of Eric Lundgren who works at a place where you recycle computers. That's a good thing. He's big into recycling computers, getting rid of all the toxic stuff that's actually in your computer, and there is some. So, don't open everything in your computer if something goes wrong. Anyway, he made some Microsoft rescue disks for people who want to fix older computers. Now, a rescue disk is not a full version of Microsoft Windows. If Windows is already on the computer, if there is already a valid license, this lets you repair the Windows that's on there now. This is that disk that comes with your new computer. That's all it is. He made those. He did not sell them. He gave them away. Microsoft says he infringed on their copyright to the tune of somewhere around $700,000, which is wrong. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Eric Lundgren is going to prison for 15 months with a $50,000 fine. Why? Because he's trying to save the planet by not throwing old computer parts into landfills. Keep the old computers running. Nothing apart from the upper high-end games, which frankly are a bit much. You don't need the new, fastest, massive computer. What you've got will be fine. And if the kids are complaining, they'll get over it. Eric Lundgren does not need to be going to jail. And Microsoft, seriously, you want to make up for this? You make enough money to fix Flint, Michigan with money you can find in the couches of the lobby of Microsoft headquarters. Make up for it. Otherwise, I'll be petitioning with everyone else to get Eric Lundgren out of prison, because that's just stupid. I really don't know how many of you are Ford people. Frankly, I'm not a Ford person. I prefer foreign cars because they work better. But if you are a Ford person and you like things like your Taurus or your Focus or your Fiesta, or you know what, maybe even the Ford Fusion. If you like those vehicles, buy them now, because in 2019, they're going to go away. The Fiesta, the Focus, the Taurus, the Fusion, all of them gone. Ford will make 2 cars. The Focus Active, which doesn't exist yet, so I can tell you nothing about it, and the Ford Mustang, because millions of Americans suffer from small genitals. Therefore, you buy Mustangs. Seriously, that's all Ford's doing. Down to 2 cars. Because we're making America great again. One Mustang at a time. This, of course, leads us into the world of sports. And you know what I've got this week? Nothing really specifically about sports. But this is kind of a racing thing. A racing story. Which normally I don't do, but it has to do with a show I used to really like called Top Gear. I used to really like it when Clarkson, Hammond, and May were hosting it. Now Matt LeBlanc has bastardized the damn show. And no, it doesn't work anymore. To the point of the Top Gear test track has been sold and is getting turned into a housing development. So if you don't think Matt LeBlanc has screwed this show up, guess what? You're horrifically wrong. The top box office movie on the planet right now is The Avengers: Infinity War. That comes as a surprise to no one. However, Pastor Kevin Swanson has decided that he doesn't believe that we should be watching these fantasy world movies because things like The Avengers: Infinity War and even The Shape of Water are promoting things like bestiality, The Shape of Water, not Infinity War, and how to be polytheistic. Really? Iron Man's an atheist. Thor is a god unto himself, part of the Nordic mythos. I don't think it's really taking away from Jesus. Jesus doesn't like you to watch the Infinity War. You know what? Dude, seriously. That is almost as absurd as the new big cyberspace terrorist in China. And this is not who you are going to think it's going to be at all. There's a lot of subversive memes and media wandering around China that tell you that China is not doing things the way they should be done. And it's very subversive, and the government is cracking down on this terrorist of the online world in China. And the terrorist is named Peppa-Pig.
I'm Peppa Pig.
That's right. The British animated preschool TV show star is banned in China because people think Peppa Pig is trying to drive, well, the Chinese think Peppa Pig is trying to drive people to be friendly to each other and jump in muddy puddles.
I love muddy puddles.
Okay, you tell me. I haven't figured this story out because it's China and they don't release that much information. But they released that much, which is weird. Therefore, I laugh at them. Ha 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 ha. In music news, which I don't do very often because, apart from the Jesus Jones album, which you should still be buying because there's a link on the the-fwot-show website, takes you right to it, you should buy it. Hint, hint. There's a new album coming out from Guns N' Roses. Now, I say it's a new album. It's actually the Locked and Loaded remix special edition of their 1987 album Appetite for Destruction, which is the one that put them on the charts and made everyone go, oh, I know who Guns N' Roses is. Okay, fine. You can either get it in 4 CDs or 7 12-inch LPs, whatever. I don't remember it being that long. Well, there's a reason for that. The Super Deluxe Edition box set has a total of 73 tracks to it. It's funny, I remember the album only having, 20, 25? Because it was a double album. 49 of these tracks are previously unreleased. Then just make a new album, you twits. Seriously, we don't need the whole box set. Most kids today don't know who the hell you are anyway. Get over it. If you agree with that or disagree with that, let me know. Go to the website, the-fwot-show.com. There's buttons for Facebook and Twitter and email, or just straight up email me, rob@the-fwot-show.com. I make it easy. You know what? While you're at the website, click the buttons for iTunes or the Google Play Store. Subscribe to the show, even on YouTube, or you can click the button for the Fwot Shop, buy a t-shirt or a hat or a coffee mug or something. All the proceeds go to support the Coil Entertainment Network, and we do appreciate your support. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with something about education. The University of Bielefeld. I mispronounced that, but that's okay. It's in Germany, and not many Germans listen to the show anyway. They're having a seminar kind of a workshop, really, that's aimed toward women. The women will be watching a lot of videos and are encouraged to bring things like a hand mirror and a towel and lubricant, because it is a workshop to teach women how to reach their maximum pleasure threshold. That's right, it's a women's masturbation seminar. I'm wondering how many guys are going to show up just to go, oh, that's where those parts are. Anyway, have a good week, everybody, and be safe, because it's not as safe out there as we'd like it to be.